Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off your hot and cold water supplies. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Frigidaire washer door boot kit. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the instructions, the mounting clamp, 3 spacers, and the new door boot. The door boot kit goes in between the drum and the front panel, and it seals the water from the washer. The main reason to be changing it is if it has a hole in it and you're getting water on the floor. In order to change the door boot, we're going to open up the washer door. There's 2 types of door boots that were used on these washers. On the older ones, the door boot is actually glued to the front frame of the washer. Or you may have a spring if it's already been changed, or you have the newer style. If you have a spring clamp, all you have to do is take a small flat screwdriver and pop it out down here at the bottom and then pull it off. If you have the type like this where it's actually glued to the frame, then you're going to have to take a razor blade and kind of go around and find all the glue spots and cut it loose and then clean up all the glue residue from the front panel. Once you have the gasket cut free, you can push it inside to the washer. And then we can clean up any residue that might be left around the outside. Now that we have the glue residue cleaned off, we're going to reach in with the pliers and rotate this wire clamp so it releases. Once you have it released, you can pull the clamp out and set it aside. With the clamp out of the way, we can work the boot off this plastic nozzle. All you have to do is pull it off and push it into the washer. To get the door boot off the front of the washer tub, there's a coiled spring clamp that goes all the way around it. So what you want to do is reach in right at 12 o'clock and slowly pull down and out, and that'll cause that spring to come off the tub. You may let it go pretty fast, so be ready for it. But once you have it off the tub, you can pull the spring out, and then you can pull the door boot out. Here's the old door boot next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. You do want to read the instructions and follow along with them. We do have to put some liquid soap in these grooves so it'll go easier onto the machine. So all you have to do is take some liquid dish soap, and we're going to go inside here and put it all the way around the door boot. You just want to put the liquid soap right in here so it helps the door boot slide on easier. You don't want to put a lot on here. You don't want it to be dripping off, but you want it to be enough that it's going to help the gasket slide on easier the whole way around. Now that we have the new door boot lubed up with the dishwashing liquid, we can grab the spring and the retainers and put it into the washing machine. To make it easier to put the new door boot in, we're going to put a block of wood in between the front panel and the front weight, and that'll push the tub back and give us a little bit more room to work. All you have to do is reach in here and push the tub back to push it down into place. To put the new door boot in, we're going to make sure that we put this little arrow here at 12 o'clock. There's a little arrow up on the top there that matches it. This is the lip on the gasket that you have to peel back, and the lip of the tub goes right in here. So you have to go all the way around and get the tub lip into this. It's a little bit tricky, and the instructions say whatever you do, don't let go of it, otherwise it might fall off and you have to start over. We're going to use some clamps to hold it on as we go around, since we have some big ones. If you have something like this, you can use it. Whatever you decide to use, make sure it doesn't have any sharp edges, and cut the new gasket as you're putting it in. All right, to get it started, we want to peel this back a little bit like we said, and line up this arrow at 12 o'clock and get it started on the tub. You may have to reach in from the back side with your other hand and pull it apart so you can get it on there. Once you have it started, we can put a clamp up on the top. Now that we have the door boot started, we can put the rest of it on. Sometimes the door boot can be kind of hard to put on. The problem is that most people push this lip right up into this area right here, and that's not where it goes. You need to make sure this lip is going right into the channel where we put that soap. If you're pushing it and it's not lined up properly, it's just going to keep falling off. So you need to get both hands in here like this and make sure that you're getting it into the groove as you go around. This little lip right here should be on the inside of the tub. And as you go around, it should just stay in place. But if you're just pressing on it and hoping that it's going to stay in there, it's just going to keep falling off. Now that we have the door boot on all the way, we're going to take the clamp up. If you had one on there, you want to carefully remove it. And then you want to go around and push in on the gasket to make sure that you have it seated the whole way around, so that when we're putting the spring on, if there's any section that's not on all the way, you're going to end up pulling it back off. So now that we have it seated properly, we can put the spring in to hold it in place. We're going to start up at 12 o'clock. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of shove the door boot gasket into the tub so it's a little bit out of the way. And then we're going to hook the spring right up at 12 o'clock and make sure it goes down into that groove so you can't see it. And there's a big rubber tab right at 12 o'clock, so the spacer really doesn't fit in there. So we're just going to put it a little bit off to the side of that big rubber tab and push it back in there so it compresses and holds the spring in place. And then we're going to work around this way clockwise down to 3 o'clock. We're going to put a spacer in here, and then down and around and a spacer at 6 o'clock, and then we're going to stretch it up onto the other half. We put a big clamp on the upper spacer because it may fall out, and when we put the one at 6 o'clock, we're going to put another one down there. Now that we have the spacer in at 3 o'clock, we can route the spring and put the one in at 6 o'clock. Alright, now that we have the spring in down to 6 o'clock, we're going to push the retainer in to hold it in place. Now that we have all 3 spacers in and the clamps to hold them in, we can stretch the spring over the other side of the door boot and make sure it goes into the groove so it gets held in place. To take the clamps out, all you have to do is reach in, carefully remove them so you don't damage the boot. Then we can reach in with needle nose pliers and grab the spacers and pull them out. Before we put the door boot on the front panel, you want to make sure you reach in and take the block of wood out so it's not in the way. Now we can put the nozzle on. You want to make sure that you get this area right here where the clamp goes all the way up here past this first ridge so we can put the clamp on. All you have to do is feed it up through here and slide it up. Once you have it up there all the way, we can put that clamp back on. And once you have it in position, you can reach in with your pliers and twist the ends back together so they lock in place. Alright, now that we have that clamp on, we can put the door boot around the outer panel. All we have to do is go around and feed this particular lip into this groove, and once we have it all the way around, we can put the spring clamp on. Alright, once you have it on all the way around, we can put the spring clamp on. The spring clamp goes on with the spring at 6 o'clock. So we're going to put the left side out over here and then feed it all the way around the groove, making sure it goes in and holds the door boot in place. And once we get over here to about 3 o'clock, we're going to get to where we can't put it in anymore. We're going to use our locking pliers to grab the wire right here. And then we're going to use this to pull the spring so this clamp can go in the rest of the way. You want to keep the clamp really close and pull towards the side of the machine. If you pull out this way, it's just going to pull the whole clamp off. Once you have it in place, you can take the locking pliers off and make sure it went in the groove the whole way around. And once you make sure it's installed properly, we can close the door. Now that you're done repairing the appliance, you can plug it back in, turn the water back on, and take it for a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.